Good day, this is Luke from Random Story Bros, and I'll be reading the continuation of My Carpool Driver Has Not Stopped Driving for 12 Hours Straight Now. My carpool driver hasn't stopped driving for 24 hours straight now. Hey, some of you asked me to transcribe the rest of the journal. Here's the following 12 hours. I'll happily discuss the journal and the events described in it with you guys. But be aware that I don't know much more than what is written in these entries. 08:03, 4 a.m. 13 hours. The head was still in between my feet. I just couldn't break to pick it up, or even look at it. Henry was still looking at the road, not reacting to anything I was saying or doing. Whatever Henry is, it is toying with me, and it seems to be enjoying watching me panic and scream in fear. My clothes are drenched in sweat. I'm starving. My water bottle is almost empty. The bastard is ignoring me, and that's not mentioning the thing lying now in between my feet. What does it want? Why did it kill the real Henry? Is it even able to talk or understand what I say? And more importantly, where are we going? I don't think it wants to kill me. For whatever reason, I feel like he is just driving me to some place or someone, and the shit he has been pulling out so far is only a way for him to get some entertainment along the way. After a while, I finally mustered up the courage to pick up the decapitated head, to put it back into the glove box. Yet, somehow, it wouldn't fit in. I tried pushing hard, but it's no use. I couldn't put the head back inside. I eventually gave up and had to throw it on the back seat. 08:03, 6 a.m. As I was falling asleep, I felt Henry move. It was right in front of my face when I opened my eyes, and before I could even react, it screamed at the top of its lungs, right to my face. 03:08, 7 a.m. I couldn't take it anymore. My heart was beating so fast. I swear it was like it was trying to get out of my chest. Every single time it screamed. Its scream was inhuman. They sounded like dozens of animals crying in pain. I was struggling not to fall asleep. I couldn't bear hearing another one of its screams. It kept screaming like a banshee every single time I was dozing off, with nothing to do and the silence surrounding us. It was getting harder with each passing second. The hunger helped keep me awake, but it was not enough. Henry suddenly started looking at the other side of the road, towards where the cars were coming from. He turned his head 180 around, staring at the car as it passed by us. I looked around and saw that even the other drivers were doing the same. Isn't it what they did when I tried to break the window earlier? Could it be that someone else was in that car? I mean, a real human like me? Was it possible that I wasn't alone in this situation? The thought was comforting, I think, although, even if I found someone else, how would I even interact with them in these conditions? It kept its head facing 180 degrees backwards for a few seconds before going back to normal. 08:03, 8 a.m. I took a closer look at Henry. Something is wrong with its skin. It doesn't look like skin from up close. It's almost smooth, with only small bumps that I think are supposed to mimic pores. The white of its eyes are also perfectly white, like people with eye lenses, but the whole eyeball seems to be like this. It doesn't seem to breathe either. I took a look at the gas, thinking it wouldn't last forever, but it seems there was no gas whatsoever according to the gas meter. 08:03, 9 a.m. As I was falling asleep yet again, I heard Henry move around, searching for something. I was trying to ignore it until something pressed against my cheek, jolting me awake. I don't know what it was. There was nothing when I woke up, just Henry blankly staring at the road. 08:03, 2 p.m. I don't know when I fell asleep, but I woke up at almost 2 p.m. Henry was laughing again, staring at me. It pointed its finger towards me and laughed even louder. At last, I thought Henry was pointing at me until I turned around, and there it was, right behind the window, a naked man running, looking at me. We're on the highway, going 130 kilometers an hour, and there was a man running along the car, staring at me, clacking his teeth, arms stretched towards me against the window. I cannot describe the fear when the window started moving down. Soon enough, the window was low enough for the man to try and grab me, the side of his face now glued to the window, his left eye wide open, the iris literally against the glass, his teeth still clackering, and his arms flailing around inside the car, still trying to grab me. Henry opened the window just low enough for him to put its arms through, but not enough for it to get its head in. I was struggling to not get caught by his arms, and when he finally grabbed me, Henry pressed the window button again. The naked man tried to pull his arms out, but it got stuck as the window closed. He screamed in pain as the window tore through his flesh like it was butter. Eventually, the window fully closed, and his forearms fell onto me, leaving a streak of blood on the glass. I panicked. I screamed. I pushed it away, and as I looked in horror in the rearview mirror, I saw him standing in the middle of the highway. He was standing there, crying. After a few moments, he started running the other way. Henry was looking at the road in front of us, this time with a big smile on its face. I think it was drooling too. After maybe half an hour, it was time for me to pull my shit together. I took the arms and threw them behind, where the head was supposed to be. It wasn't there anymore. With all of this happening in such a short time, I thought I should write everything that had happened. I took the notepad that was in the computer bag at my feet and started writing down everything you've read until now. 08:02, 4 p.m. As I just finished writing the last sentence, Henry decided to exit the highway towards a small town. Finally, as we go deeper into the town, everything seems normal at first. However, on close inspection, it's the same thing as on the highway. The other drivers are still staring blankly in front of them. The only difference now is that there are pedestrians doing the same thing. although the way they walk is slightly off. Sometimes it's too rigid, sometimes it's too flabby, like they're barely standing upright. Things look like what you would typically see in a living town, but as you take moments to focus on each individual, it just feels like it is full of these things that look barely alive, acting as if they were normal people. There are people sitting at the terrace of a restaurant nearby, though they don't have plates. They just sitting there, clacking their teeth. Other people are carrying bags around like they just went to the grocery store. Their bags are visibly empty. There was a man, butt naked, on a leash, sniffing the ground near one of the restaurants. Further down the road, there was a man squatting down on the windowsill of an apartment, his hands laying in front of his genitalia. He was looking at me with compassion as we passed by. What the hell are these things? As our car stopped, so did everything else. Every driver, every pedestrian stopped and turned their face towards me and started grinning. That could mean only one thing. Henry was staring at me. I turned my face around, and sure enough, Henry was eyeballing me with a large smile on its face. Its face was so close to mine, I could have smelled its breath, if it was breathing at all. You don't say hi to our new passengers, it spoke for the first time. I didn't understand what it meant by that until I looked at the back seat. There are two more people with us, staring at me.